What is up, guys? We're back, and today we're going to go over a little bit of islands in the swamps, fingers and points, and soft transitions. This is my home state, and we're going to go into a little bit of cyber scout. I want to say, do not scout these areas this time of year. You will blow the bucks out of it. They will not come back. This is how we scout this time of year. If you were not able to scout this postseason, this is how we got to do it. Because, like I said, if you're going to scout now, you're going to really, really, really damage your areas. Stay out of them until you're ready to kill. Right off the bat, I want to show you this swamp. This is a private piece off of a public, but I love the feature, so I'm going to use it. I mean, they're everywhere. There's features like this everywhere, but I really like this feature because it's wet, and I just wanted to point out these islands within this swamp. Island, 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 and island. We're doing this to show what to look for. Here's islands. There's going to be bedding on these islands, just like out in the marsh. It all relates. Everything relates to each other. Marsh, hill country. Farms are a little bit different. Farms, it seems to me, from what I've noticed and what I've learned from Dan Infalt. I just got done watching his 4-hour video, which was phenomenal. Bucks are setting up to watch humans on most farms. They are bedding on the edge of the fields most of the time, and they're keeping an eye and tabs on people. And we're not realizing that. We're not watching our entry routes on farms. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't already, go buy it. It's absolutely priceless stuff. It's 4 hours long. And I don't think there's one kill on it. I really don't. I don't think there's one kill on that video. It's all educational. And it's just, guys are all class acts, man. Anyway, here is some more islands, but it's high ground. High ground islands. And this is not what we want to hunt. This is not what we want to hunt. We want to hunt the edges of this stuff, this funnel, because there's going to be bedding up in here. There's going to be bedding on these points. There's a bowl here. There's a little island here. Depending on what's inside here, and it actually relates on bedding a little bit of farm. I was finding a lot of beds. I would walk this transition, not the specific one, I'm just using this as an example, especially if it's a straight one. And it opened my eyes today watching a farm video of this straight transition like this. What I was finding is, if you can see into this stuff a little bit, like 10-15 yards, and then there's like really thick stuff inside here, which is called soft transition. There's bedding in it. There's some bedding in it, usually, and I was finding that a lot this year. And if it's like this, that's what's going on. Guys are hunting out here and not hunting these edges, trying, and there's, of course, there's bedding on points if it's thick enough. And these points can't be wide open too. They cannot be wide open. Like, for instance, if you get this point here, you gotta have thick brush on the end of it to have bedding. This has to be thick and have backstops, maybe some mature trees, etc. This can't be like this. See this little point of grove. A buck's not gonna bed in here like this. It's wide open. You know who beds in here? Does. To me, that would be doe bedding, because a doe will bed up here, it'll bed in a circular fashion, looking out. You got a set of eyes working anywhere. So does will bed out in the open, or like down in this bowl here. of wide open woods. A lot of times they'll bed in these bowls. They can watch in all ways, smell in all ways, etc. So, but this needs thick stuff. Even in the marshes, you need it can't be wide open woods. Very rarely, a blowdown will work. They're big blowdown, like a blowed down tree right here is a buckle bed behind it. They like a backstop or a big giant bush, blah blah blah, whatever, big rock. But these here are spots I would be hunting. I'd be hunting, This is kind of a funnel here. It's not really. I mean, there's a little open space here. Here's a point here. It's kind of weird because this kind of goes along here like this. And here's your island of open woods. Here's another island of open woods. And most guys are going to come out here. You're going to have a lot of sign out here and along the edge transition of it. Where me, I'm setting up, of known bedding. I'm going to find the beds first, and then I'm setting up accordingly in the funnels associated with bedding. Like say, for example, say we went in this winter and found this was really thick and there was a big bed on this point of this swamp. This deer is not going to get up and walk through this open woods any direction. I mean, 99% of the time he's not going to. He's going to walk back here this way somehow and use the terrain and cover to get where he wants to go. It's not so much where they want to go. I think it's wind specific. I think the terrain and cover they like to travel through to their destination. They cannot travel into the wind all the time. It'd be impossible. They'd be going one way the whole time. Now, bedding coming into it in the morning, he's going to come through. He might come through this open woods at dark, but he's probably going to J-hook it and come down through here if there's a northwest wind or whatever, more wind out of here or wind out of here, or he's going to come through this open woods in the dark, right? Cross this creek and come in like this because he wants to lay there and see and make sure nothing's following him on his back trail and check the bed in the morning for danger also. So this is a finger. This is actually, you know what? Here's a finger. A finger will have a bed at the point if it has sufficient salt transition or if it's thick on the end. This is kind of a rounded, not so much a finger, kind of a rounded point, which I've been finding a lot this winter postseason scouting. There's a bed here, there's a bed here, and there's a bed here. This bed will be for this wind. This bed will be for this wind. This bed will be for this wind. So keep that in mind too. The narrow, I think the beds on the more narrower points, they do like the wind coming up them, but I think the beds on the more narrower points aren't wind specific, especially on the marshes. The ones with the more rounded features are wind specific, like especially if you get a lone tree at the end of this out in the marsh, there might be a huge bed under it. Well, that's not a couple, 3-4 deer under it. That's one deer moving in each wind direction, moving around and bedding in there in different positions on each wind direction. So another one I wanted to go over too is say you got, and I almost guarantee there's bedding along this transition here. This transition here, keeping an eye on this road. Guarantee it. Somewhere along this. But a lot of this stuff you can see inside about 10 yards or so. And there'll be some soft transition inside here, like hedgerows, like a little bit of vegetation change. And it'll be thicker like that. Like this, like so. Well, that's going to hold bedding too. We're going to have beds in here like that. And I've noticed this past season, and after I watched Dan Infalt's video, and it clicked. I said, "Oh, that's why. That's what was going on in this certain spot. I found that same thing he was talking about." So this is not my information. I've learned this, and I'm passing it on. I've learned this from Hunting Beast and Dan Infalt. So anytime you listen to my videos, it's usually coming from the Beast, thehuntingbeast.com. I learned everything from there, and I stick to that, and I'm just trying to pass it on, guys. So anyway, these islands, man, they're good, but the smaller they are, the harder they are to hunt. So just a short one today, guys. I appreciate you listening. Stay tuned, subscribe, share, please. Share these videos to guys that don't know, guys that are stuck and need a better way and want to be more successful doing this. Stay out of bedding areas right now. Do what we're doing right here. Get on that computer, and whenever your season opens, get on your computer, scout with your stand on your back and hunt that hot sign. So appreciate you watching. Subscribe and like to the buck sake.